Welcome to A&M Reviews. I'm Skybear and I'm here with my buddy Sal. What's up, Sal?
Not much.
And today, it's Throwback Thursday. We're going to be reviewing Strange Days. And keep in mind, there will be spoilers up ahead, so watch out for that.
You've been warned.
Alright, so what do we think about this movie, Sal?
I want to say that it left me a little puzzled because to me, it seemed like it was a remake of Blade Runner mixed with other punk sci-fi movies out there. It was kind of like a little of each movie, but not, it was diluted. I mean, it was like everywhere at the same time, but I don't know how I want to feel about the movie. I mean, I like the cast. The cast was amazing.
Man, I did not realize how many names were in this movie.
Yeah, when I started, I was like,
like,
ooh.
every single character that showed up, I was like, hey, I know you.
Exactly.
Oh, I've seen you. Oh, I know you in this one. Is that Vincent D'Onofrio? Holy shit.
Yep. And I was like, he looks so young. No,
I know. I was just like, no, it is. Whoa. I thought it was blast.
Like one of the cops, Vincent, right? The actor Vincent, but his character name, I forget his name.
Yeah.
He came out in Death Wish, and I just went to see Death Wish, so I was like, oh,
that's right, he is in Death Wish.
Yeah, I'm like, it seems weird that like I'm seeing you back to back, and I'm like, okay, but yeah, I mean, the cast was amazing. And give it to like the story. I mean, okay, James Cameron wrote the story or the screenplay.
Oh, did he now?
Yes.
Oh, I totally missed that.
He thought of the concept behind the story back in 1986. Mm-hmm. Stayed on it until this concept came up, and they're like, we're going to record something like that. So he's like, yeah, I got the perfect story. So he went with it. He didn't direct it. He just screen wrote it, and I think he's credited as editing.
Catherine Bigelow directed.
Yeah, and I think his credit is editing or something. The whole idea behind it was the riots. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, I'm like, this is kind of if the world was in a state of continuous riot 24 hours a day. I mean, that's how it would look. I mean, because every time they were driving by the street, it seems like it was a riot. And they're like driving and nothing's going. They're just like, yeah, we're just driving here. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So that kind of threw me off.
Now that you mention it, yeah, I can definitely see those parallels in the film and the riots too. Because you're right. Every time we went out into the sidewalk, it was like, oh, there's a trash fire. Oh, yes. People are rioting and looting.
Like, it wasn't it like in every other scene there was somebody passing by with a Molotov and just like fire was everywhere. I mean, it was just...
Oh, hell yeah. Also, I didn't realize we were in Los Angeles until like we saw that flashback video with Juliette Lewis. And
yes.
I was like, is that Venice Beach? And then like later on, someone was like, oh, it's off La Cienega. I was like, oh shit, we're in Los Angeles. Yep. All right.
No, and I was going to talk about the flashback. I was like, when Lenny had the flashback, that looked like it was 10 years before kind of thing. Like everything was nice and clean in Venice.
I know. I was just like, damn. That's why I was thrown off. I was like, Venice Beach looks good. Shit.
Yeah. And I'm like, but why is it that like present time it's like fucking chaos on the streets? Like it's like people are just like looting and everything. I'm like, okay. But in his flashbacks, everything was nice and everything. Where they live was beachfront property. I was like, and you know, I lived in Venice, so I remember I'm like, oh shit, that's Venice. And then when they're cruising through the Cienega and they're going to La Brea and all that, I'm like, oh shit, that's LA, you know. Mm-hmm. The other thing when they went to the hood, basically, was where there was like the parties and everybody was like throwing fireworks and everything. And I'm like, you know what, that's not that far off, because every 4th of July, that's basically my street. I'm like, fireworks everywhere. So I'm like, that was okay. I'm like, so I guess in the black neighborhood, everything is like okay because they control it, and then like white people on the street mess it up with fire bombs and everything. So I was like, oh wow, this is kind of like everywhere. The whole thing was, it was LA. It reminded me of every place around LA. I've been there. Even the hotel at the end, the Bonaventure, that's one of the hotels in downtown. It's on Figueroa and 2nd Street. And I've stayed there for conventions. So it's still there, and people know it from a lot of movies. So it's a famous hotel. They record there and stuff. So
yeah.
The other thing is like the little the headset, the squid headset. That reminded me of Paprika. Did you get that?
Oh, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I was like, that looks exactly like the model. It looks like it's like, you know, it looked kind of weird. So it threw me off. I was like, okay, this is Blade Runner mixed with other movies. I'm like, wow, The other thing I'm referencing Blade Runner is because during the flashback in Venice Beach, when she goes into the apartment and she goes to the bathroom and throws water on herself, and she comes out and tells Lenny, "Drive me off." That's the line from Blade Runner. So,
oh, is it now? I didn't catch that.
Yeah, and I went. I was like, "Oh my god!" So I went online and looked it up, and yeah, they said it was an homage to Blade Runner. I think James Cameron put it in there because of that, word for word.
Nice. Well, I mean, what sci-fi movie doesn't reference Blade Runner?
Yeah, if they don't, then they don't know their sci-fi.
Hell, what sci-fi movie doesn't reference Metropolis?
Oh yeah.
Everything all comes back.
It comes to a full circle. The other thing that I did not really enjoy was the fact that they're trying to sell these memories as virtual reality, but in the sense is like they're acting like it's drugs, and I'm like, okay, if it's just stimulating your brain, can it really I mean, I know it could mess up your mind, but at the same time, is it going to make you like a junkie, scratching yourself and everything that you need to fix every now and then?
Well, it's more just like, well, what happened to Lenny's friend. He just went fucking catatonic.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just like that danger aspect of it. Because I mean, look at Tide Pods.
Yeah. Tide Pods and everybody with their. They
look at those giant lawn darts. They're like, people can hurt themselves with this, but I mean, it's not a gun, so yeah.
Yeah. But my other thing was like, okay, so I wanted a little more backstory to the movie. Not a lot, but I just wanted them to tell us where a little more of the politics during that time, because we didn't see that much. We just heard on the newscast like Gaddafi's gonna get a Nobel Peace Prize for something, and I'm like, okay, they're talking about politics in the background, but do we see who the president is? Do we see like what the police are dealing with and stuff like that? We just see cops, but we don't see what they're doing or they're dealing with. So
wait, you wanted more politics in this?
No. I wanted
a Star Wars prequel on our hands.
No, I wanted to see more of the cops' influence, because I read somewhere that James Cameron said that it was the idea came from the Rodney King beatings. So in that sense, I wanted them to talk about like the tension between the cops and the people, the civilians. That's why they're fighting on the sidewalks. We didn't get that. I just saw them like fighting and throwing Molotovs and hitting people and back and forth. I just wanted to see them say like, oh, again today in downtown LA there was more riots and cops had to be called or something, instead of Gaddafi's going to win a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I thought I was totally fine with the movie. I thought it was really enjoyable actually. Like, man, I love the concept of this movie. I love the way that it played out, and yeah, I don't know. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I also found out that I wanted to link this somehow, so follow me if you want. So the character Faith, they keep referencing her. Lenny wants her, but he can't have her. She doesn't want to be with him anymore. That's the love relationship. But at the same time, I think they have her as representing faith, actual faith. People want to have faith, but sometimes faith is not on their side, or they think faith left me, I'm alone. But then other people, feel good because they're like, oh, faith is on my side. So technically, I feel that she was the actual embodiment of faith. She goes from person to person, not really staying with one person all the time, but just popping here and there and then leaving and then coming back. Did you see that, or is it just me?
No, I didn't. I just thought she was a horrible human being.
No, because at the end, I was thinking, like, she's such a bitch. But then I'm like, wait, but faith itself can also be a bitch.
Yeah.
So I was like, could that be a metaphor right there? But yeah, I mean, at the end, I was by halfway through the movie, I was like, what the fuck is Lenny doing? Like, just stop. Don't chase her. Every time you hear her name, you go find her and gun-ho and try to be a hero and save her. She doesn't want to be saved, and that's what Mace told him, like, let her go. There's other people who care about you and will do anything for you, but you don't see them. And basically that was her talking about herself, saying like, I'm here for you, but you don't see me. Right. So I was like, come on, Lenny, you got Mace here, you settle down with her,
Mm.
She's got your back. How many times did she save him, you know? But yeah, good old Lenny needed to go chase Faith, so.
Yeah. And speaking of Lenny, man, I thought Ray Fiennes did a terrific job in this movie. I mean, like, everyone did a pretty good job in this movie, but I was like, damn, Ray Fiennes is an action hero. Man, holy shit.
Well, yeah, he's an action hero, but he was getting beat left and right. So.
I mean, yeah, I mean, for me, I would prefer if the action hero gets beat up a little bit, because, I mean, like, I grew up with Jackie Chan movies, and, like, Jackie Chan gets his ass kicked all the time. But he also wins every fight most of the time.
And here's the other thing I enjoyed. He was getting beat up, and then who comes to save him? A female. Like, she's always popping in, saving him, you know, get in the car, I'm driving, you know, they're shooting at us, but I got your back. Or that guy's beating you up, don't worry, I got him. The movie was, for me, it was entertaining, like you said. So what did you give it?
I would say like a 7.5 out of 10.
Same for me, 7.5 out of 10. I mean, it's a good movie. The sci-fi is interesting if you see it, and then you see that it's connected through other movies. It still holds to this day, I guess you can say. Like, if you think about it.
No, that's actually, like, there was a couple parts where I was watching it, and I was like, huh, this seems oddly relevant to today.
Other than that, just the whole theme itself, you know, like. Memories, what are they? You know, do people want to relive them? That's always going to be there, you know. So think about it.
But no, I thought that that sci-fi concept was really cool, just to like have the ultimate VR experience, pretty much.
Yeah, and
which is actually what I was talking. Well, you know, I was talking to a guy about it too, where it's just like, oh man, like I would love for VR to just be, you know, just for you to be able to touch something and have it, you know, have it. Like, feel like, oh, this is a steering wheel. Oh, this is an apple. You know, just, like, have it all be tangible just through VR. Which is what the movie is, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's cool. I would love for that to happen in, like, 10 years. or fewer.
Think about it. Maybe in a few years we might have it. Because right now, PlayStation has the VR headset. And there's a company in Japan that has a box. Once you put your hand in there. So let's say, like you said, if you get in a car in the game, so it kind of molds to what you're watching. So people actually using the headset with other devices to get the full experience. So with that, you might get the good and you might get the bad too.
So that wraps up our Strange Days review. Catch us next time when we review Beyond the Lights.
Yes.
And remember, social media is in the description, and hit us up if you have any questions.
And remember, keep watching movies.